Hi guys! So this video is for the advanced band, and we're going to continue going over our single eighth notes and number 71, Wolly Doodle. So I know these single eighth notes were a new concept from a week or so ago, and they look really scary and weird, so we're just going to keep going over them so that you see they're really not as hard as they look. So let's take a look. So now we're starting to see things that look like this in our music. They can face either going up or going down, doesn't matter, it depends where on the music staff they are. And you see that little squiggle that looks like a 7. So those are single eighth notes and eighth breaths. And we're going to take a look and see this new rhythm above me. And we're going to just take a quick look and see how it goes. So first look at it. It looks really weird. We're not used to this. But if we remember, each one of those is just a single eighth note. So it's like our other eighth notes, but it's broken in half. So each eighth note or eighth rest gets half of a beat. So they either get the number or the and. So right away in the beginning there, you just have one and. That's not hard. It's kind of like a quarter note where we would go one and. But instead of keeping your hands together, you do that for the rest. So then next to that eighth rest, you will see another eighth note. And we know that either gets the number or the and. And since the number is next, it gets the 2. And the rest next to it gets the and. So right now, we are up to 1 and 2 and. Again, not hard. It's just 1 and 2 and. And again, very similar to quarter notes, where we would go 1 and 2 and. Just there's that space, the notes are shorter. So as we continue, we see we have another eighth note, and then the rest gets the and. The next eighth note gets the number 4, and then the rest gets the and. So all together, we have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Again, that's not difficult. If you try it with your instrument and you just pick whatever note you want, it would sound like this. It would go 3 and 4 and. So again, that's not complicated. They're just short. There's space in between. 3 and 4 and. So it's just space. It's kind of like our quarter notes, but they're just shorter notes. They're only half the value of a quarter note. And then you'll see the box in your book says single eighth note and eighth rest. Each receives half a beat, and it shows you exactly what we just did. And remember, our normal eighth notes look like that right up here. But 2 of these single eighth notes equals one of those normal looking eighth notes. So we're just splitting it in half and using 1/2 of that eighth note. So if we look at Wolly Doodle, number 71, which is part of our assignment again, we do have a lot of those single eighth notes or eighth rests. And above me is flute music. And you'll see that these single eighth notes are upside down from the ones that I was just showing you. Again, they can go either direction. It depends where they are on the music staff. Once a note crosses this middle line, it flips either upside down or right side up. But it's the same value. It just makes it easier to read because it keeps all these lines on our music staff. So if we take a look at this first full measure right here, we'll see we have an eighth note, so that gets 1. Eighth rest gets the and. Eighth note gets 2. And the rest gets and. Eighth note gets 3. Rest gets and. Then this eighth note gets 4. This eighth note gets the and. So if we were to clap that measure, we would have 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And just be careful in the end because you do have 2 eighth notes. Again, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, and 3, and 4, and if you were to play that measure, it would sound like this. 3, and 4, and. Again, ready, go. And if you look, the next measure is exactly the same. So both of these measures together sound like this. 3, and 4, and. So you just have that space in between, and the note's just really short. It's really small because it's only half a beat. So it's not nearly as scary as it looks. And remember right here, these are just eighth notes. They're a pickup, so they do come in on 4, and they're the same as these notes we just played. So that's all that. That's nice and simple. The next measure is just normal eighth notes. You just have 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and. That's normal, just quick notes. 3, and 4, and. So no space in between those, no rests. They're just eighth notes going straight through. Then you get your dotted half note, which does get 3 beats of sound, so remember that. And then we've got some more eighth notes down here. It's the same rhythm as this measure, but your notes are a little different. But you still have 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and. So the second line, that first measure, sounds like this. 3, and 4, and. So the same as that first measure, just different notes. And then this measure, you've got eighth note, eighth rest, eighth note, eighth rest, eighth note, eighth rest, quarter note. So make sure that note is its full value. You gotta hold it out for both parts of the beat. So that quarter note at the end right here is kind of like a spring point to get you here. You jump off of this and it brings you right up to those eighth notes. You don't want that space because then it's disconnected. So now I'm going to play the entire song for you. You will notice that I have a repeat sign drawn in. I'm not going to do that, but when you practice it, you can repeat it. It's such a fun song, and when we've done it in concerts in the past, we do usually repeat it. So I'm going to start at the very beginning, play the entire song. Remember, it starts on 4. 1, and 2, and 3, and. So that's how Wolly Doodle goes. So now it's time to go practice number 71 and 73. And make sure you have done your attendance question. Make sure you're filling in your practice log and do your flip grid. You can do either this song or the first 7 measures of La Bamba, whichever one you want, whichever you feel most comfortable with. So I hope this was helpful. I hope you guys are doing well, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.